Hey everybody, Jess here, Key Tarot. Welcome to you all. I'm so appreciative of you all. I'm sorry I haven't been around much lately. There's a lot going on in my life right now, and there's probably going to be for a little while longer. So I do appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you being here with me today. This is going to be a real quick general reading. I don't know who it will be for or what it's going to be about. Let us say a quick blessing, and we'll find out together. All right? Holy Spirit, thank you for being with us here today and in every breath that we take. We ask that these messages be received by those who are meant to hear them. Amen. Alrighty, I'm going to start with this Tarot of Wonderland. Give it a little shuffle. That 777 portal, I gotta tell you, my spidey senses have been off the chain lately. I've been having crazy dreams, crazy visions, lots of extra information. It's been actually really great. There was a time that I just went through recently where I just felt like I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't read cards. I was just kind of devoid of abilities for a little while, and that ebbs and flows. If you are someone who reads cards yourself, or if you're a spiritually adept person in any way, you'll understand there are ebbs and there are flows to those gifts, and sometimes you need time to rest, sometimes you need a reset, sometimes you need to change some aspects of your life or habits or relationships or occupations, things like that. Sometimes we have to make some changes, whether they're subtle or whether they're grandiose in our lives. And then we also know that eventually they will come back to us. It's all about a flow. And this 777 portal has been really lovely, in my opinion. I feel much better today. Today is the 8th of July, and I can actually sense a change immediately in the dynamic of the energy in me. So I'm hoping you guys are feeling the same way. Some of you may be, some of you may not be. I was just hearing someone say he doesn't love me, and that's why I brought it up at all, is that finally I'm starting to be able to hear again for the first time in a while. For a while I couldn't hear. Okay, let's see. Well, honey, I'm sure that's not true. Let's look. Okay. Oh, dear. Okay. You may be dealing with a Libra or Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I'm dealing with somebody who's very stressed out, very worried. I feel a lot of, I don't feel it in myself personally, but I can tell whoever I'm reading for is having a lot of stomach acid issues right now, just trying to deal with stress. Someone's trying to decide if they want to let go of someone, because this is somebody I'm reading for a feminine energy, actually. And I'm certain of that. And it's not about your gender. I say this every time I do a reading. It's not about your gender. It's about the energy that you carry. But this feels like a very feminine energy that I'm reading for. And, okay. This feels very much, this feels kind of deep. This feels like it belongs to father wounding for someone out there that is now being represented as a romantic relationship in your life, something about not feeling loved. Someone may have recently gone through possibly some legal battles. Only simply because that's in the cards here, but that's not entirely what I'm feeling. I'm feeling paperwork issues. I'm feeling someone's overwhelmed. Thank you. Someone may be struggling with alcohol. Someone wants to make a change here and they're not sure how to do that. There's a lot of information here. This is going to be difficult to unpack. Let's just keep on going. This is why I love to read tarot cards, because I don't actually need tarot cards in order to tell someone's story, but they're a good way to illustrate what's happening, and it keeps us on track as readers. Okay, so at one point you were very solid with this, and this is about a romantic relationship. Fair enough. Okay, so you had a romantic relationship. You guys were both on the same page. You both wanted the same things. It became very clear very quickly that this person that you were involved with was not being honest with you. And there is something that's much deeper than this dishonesty. You are someone who's very independent. You're used to being on your own a lot. I gather I'm reading for a feminine energy that didn't have a very solid, or they may have had a very unavailable father figure in their lives, and it's created some father wounding in this feminine energy. I'm reading for someone who loves very purely, someone who loves very deeply, and someone who, I don't want to say that you're naive. I don't think that you're naive. I think that you're just very genuine, very, very kind person. And I feel like you're involved with someone now who hasn't told you the truth about some things. And I feel like it's more than one thing. It's more than one thing. Yeah, and I have the Emperor out on the side. The Emperor can represent father figures in our lives. It can also represent the divine masculine energy. It's kind of what we're talking about here. You have your divine masculine, you have your divine feminine. It's in every single one of us. And we have both of them inside of us. It just depends on which one you identify with more, of which aspects you're going to be feeling. And sometimes some individuals flip-flop throughout their lives as to which one they identify with more. I'm reading for someone here who's struggling with a masculine relationship in their lives, and it's a very heavy masculine energy. But it's not just this romantic relationship that you've been struggling with. I feel like you've been struggling with a father figure your whole life. It's time to start telling the truth. You deserve happiness. You absolutely do. There it is again. You're very kind. You're very loving. There's something very youthful about your spirit, where it's not a naivete. It's an innocence. It's a purity more than anything. Purity. You're someone who, I feel like I'm reading for someone who's very empathic. I feel like you've been through an awful lot that most people would not even know about. So I feel like you are at a crossroads right now, and I feel that way. I'm trying to just read the cards here for you. You're at a crossroads right now with the Two of Swords, obviously, where you have to decide whether you're going to stay or go in a relationship, and maybe that decision's already been made by you or for you. But I feel like you haven't completely cut this person out of your life yet. I feel like you are, I'm reading for someone who's very loving, very giving, very kind. I already said all of that. Someone who's very mothering and very mothering and loving. Okay. You're separated from this romantic partner currently. Thank you. Yeah, very separated from them. I've got the Three of Swords. That's breakup energy. Yes. You may have recently ended this relationship with this person, or they, you. There's a connection that you feel towards this person, though, that is very difficult to let go of with this Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords energy. Or excuse me, Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. It was just too much for you. I'm reading for someone who has very good intentions. I'm reading for someone who was raised to believe that they should be good to everyone, and you are good to everyone. Okay. And you're also a very powerful person. You're a very spiritually powerful person. You have the capacity to create a lot of waves and a lot of change in your life. More about that in a minute. Let me see if I can slide all this over, because whoever I'm reading for, you're actually pretty functional. I can always tell the way that cards come out. Whether, you know, I've got somebody who's dealing with a lot of mental health issues, or whether I'm dealing with someone who's like a very linear thinker, someone who's very type A versus not. Whoever I'm reading for here, you're actually pretty stable. You're pretty grounded. And I love this. I love this. And you actually would be a very healthy partner for someone, despite the father wounding issues you may be experiencing. And so I think there's a level of frustration that you're having right now with whoever you were previously partnered with. You're clearly in a separation, if not a complete breakup with this person. I'm wondering what the struggle actually is here, because whoever I'm reading for here, you are very independent. I've got this 9 of Pentacles here. That's the minor arcana of the Empress. This is someone who's used to doing everything on their own. They don't really need anyone. They would like someone in their lives. There's probably a part of you that wishes that you had a little more help in your life. Someone there that was more reliable, someone you could count on. And I feel like you thought that this person who was in your life at that time, at the time that you met them, would be that person for you. But it hasn't happened that way. I see a lot of deception between you and this person, and I'm not sure exactly what's happened. So let me get another deck and I'll clarify. Just got to figure out which one I want to use. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this Vice Versa Tarot. Yeah. I feel like at some point you felt like you just couldn't do it anymore. You had to make a decision. You've got this Page of Cups out here twice. This time it comes out in the reverse. It feels like you had to turn your back on this person, almost like this person forced your hand to do so. I have the Lovers out here, which is a choice and when it comes to love. And it feels like you guys are kind of on the dark side of the moon right now. It feels like while you're still totally connected to one another, it feels like you've kind of been cast out. You see this? So this is the Vice Versa Tarot printed on both sides. Super cool deck. I recommend highly. But this is kind of being cast out of that paradise where everything seemed very perfect, and then all of a sudden things started to fall apart. You got a bunch of repeats in here already. I'm dealing with someone, you or someone else is dealing with a heavy amount of addiction, and they're not choosing to deal with it. They're not choosing to take ownership of it or accountability for it. They're not choosing to acknowledge or make changes. Okay. I do feel like there's kind of a final ending to this relationship, especially right now. I mean, it feels very final, but there's been a lot of arguing, and I feel like the person I'm reading for has chosen to stop fighting, chosen to stop arguing, chosen kind of to stop the whole cycle. But with this Death card energy here, yeah, that's someone who says, I'm not going to, well, let me backtrack. I feel like you had given up on this person, and then there was a part of you that said, wait, if I truly love this person, I want to see them through this trauma or whatever they're dealing with, something like that. Because I feel like this person you've been dealing with has been dealing with some kind of trauma on their own. And I don't know and feel free to flip-flop these energies. I don't know if it's your story or if it's this other person's. And addiction, definitely addiction. Addiction or toxicity of some sort. You or this other person that you're involved with here romantically or were involved with, there seems to be a lot of father-mother wounding. Father wounding for the feminine energy here and mother wounding for the masculine energy. Knight of Wands again. This could be a broken engagement. This could be a divorce, a broken marriage. I do have that here, and I have that here. I have the Hierophant in the reverse. Taurus energy. And I have the Queen of Cups that came out on top of the Queen of Cups. And I have the King of Cups right under that. So we do have a true pair here. Two people who are, quite honestly, I'm going to be real honest with you. Both of the individuals that I'm reading for and about here, both of you have some unhealed trauma, and it feels like you both want to come together. It feels like one of you has acknowledged the trauma more than others. One of you is more healed than the other one. And I feel, based on these cards, that the masculine is the one who is not facing the demons that they need to face currently. And there's a lot of regret for this feminine about that, but there's not a lot you can do to change it, is what I'm seeing. There's a lot of attraction between you and this person. I think you're just naturally drawn to one another, and I think you do have a lot of fun together when you're around one another, when things are good. I feel like, difficult decision again with the Two of Swords, another repeat. I love it when you guys give me repeat cards. That's why I use multiple decks in every reading. I want to see which cards come out most often, because, and when they come out together especially, that tells me which energies are the most important to you. That Queen of Cups coming out right on top of one another. Again, I will reiterate, you're a very loving and kind person, and don't second guess yourself. The Queen of Cups is someone who's highly intuitive. That King of Cups is also, but they are not good communicators. And I think you're dealing with someone who's quite wounded. I think you're dealing with a masculine energy that's quite wounded. I can hear a car alarm off in the distance outside of my window. Got the Nine of Pentacles again. I think that you're at the point where you're ready to walk away from this situation, but there's something that kind of keeps pulling you back, something that keeps you wanting to try. And I encourage you to look at that. I encourage you to look at it. Is it, and ask yourself, like, what is it? Is it that I'm comfortable with toxicity because of some of this wounding I experienced in my early childhood? Or is it something more spiritually based? Because whoever I'm reading for here is a very good person. I feel like everyone involved here is a very good person. I feel like, honestly, 99% of the population are good people. And they have a desire. And if they're not great, they have a desire to be good. Nobody wakes up in the morning and is just like, I'm going to be an asshole today. Yeah, nobody says that. I feel like I'm reading for good people here. I feel like I'm reading, the feminine that I'm reading for is waiting on something that they don't think is ever going to happen, that they don't think is ever going to come to fruition. But there's hope. I think that's what the problem is that there's so much hope. And I think that the hope comes from love. So congratulations on having such an open heart that you're able to love as deeply as you do. But man, it sure doesn't make it easy, does it? All right, what is ultimately going to happen in this? Well, let's look here. The person that you're involved with here romantically, they have no intention of acknowledging any of the deception. They have no intention of acknowledging any kind of deception within them. It's almost as though they're either delusional, or they just can't see outside of themselves, or they believe their own lies, or they're just simply not willing to admit them. So there you have that. You can check that box off, okay? I don't think they're going to admit it. And I don't see a change happening anytime soon. I'm being very honest with you about these cards that are coming out. I just got the Fool and the Reverse, which is telling me this person's not ready to change yet. So, all right, just a couple more out here, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about this. Okay, they're not ready for a change yet. But it looks like in the future, they're going to be putting in a lot of work on themselves. It looks like in the future, they're going to be willing to sit down and study and do the work. It looks like in the future, and this could be a long time in the future, kids. This could be years from now. And I congratulate you on you being able to see this from a different perspective than them. I congratulate you on ending this when you did. For whatever reason that you made that choice, I'm glad that you made that choice for yourself. That was a strong choice for you to make. However, at some point, this person is going to see things very differently than they are right now. But I think it's going to be a little while. So one or two more out, please. Thank you. Yep, and I got the Seven of Swords out there again. This person's not willing to admit the truth about themselves, what they're going through, what they've experienced, any habits, addictions, problems, mental health issues. They're not ready yet. They're not ready. And so I will tell you right now, and there's the Justice card again in the reverse. I will tell you right now, and then I've got the Emperor again in the reverse. And I've got the Chariot card here in the reverse. Basically, you've made the right decisions as far as letting go of this relationship, whether you were the one that pulled the plug or whether they were. You cannot go back to the way things were. You see, there's no road left. Okay. This Emperor in the reverse isn't even paying attention to anything around them. They're very much either out of their heads or out of their hearts, out of their minds. They're definitely far from themselves. And I think it was right that you let go of this when you did. I feel like I'm reading for someone who still is harboring hope for this situation. And and I hate to say this because I'm always going to tell you the truth when I see the cards. There actually is hope. There actually is. And I don't want you to string yourself along in this. I think it was good that you separated yourself when you did, because it was about to blow up if it didn't already. There's a powder keg energy here. There's someone who they're not going to be able to keep up with things. It's exhausting. You can't keep pushing this boulder up a hill. And I'm not seeing a change happening for this person anytime soon, but I do see a change happening eventually. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a long while. So I would encourage you, if I was going to give you any advice, and obviously you don't pay me to give you advice, you just pay me to read your cards. But if I was going to give you any advice, I would say everything you've done right now is right. You have had good intentions, and it was good to let them go. They will work on it, and they will start to see gradually over time, if they do the work, what they need to see. I would keep this person at a very, very far distance from you for quite some time until you actually start seeing concrete changes in them. And when I say concrete changes, I mean, you may be dealing with someone who has been battling with addiction for some time and they need to check themselves into rehab. You may be dealing with someone who has physical health issues and they need to make serious changes to their lifestyle. You may be dealing with someone who has a variety of mental health issues and they need to seek counseling for that. Until you see them actually putting one foot in front of the other, do not accept empty promises. Until you start seeing them put one foot in front of the other and actually start making the changes, not for you, but for yourself. Not to get you back, not to win you back, not to fill your head with future faking promises. Until you start to see concrete results, do not go back to them. Do not go back to them. It's okay for you to love them from afar. Love is still love. Okay? God loves you both. I can tell you guys are very, very wonderful people, both of you. I'm sorry this has happened for whoever you are. I'm going to cut you off here. If you'd like a personal reading with me, all of that information is in the About section of this channel. I wish you guys well. This is very much divine counterpart energy. But it feels like people who have driven something off in the mud here. Yeah, and I'm not blaming one side or the other here. It honestly feels like father-mother wounding. Yes, and that's hard to pull yourself back from. It sure is. Keep on loving and loving and loving. Keep praying and praying and praying, but do not expect change. All right. I love you very much. Mwah.